我在拍这部电影的时候，我的孩子刚刚出生，然后
When
等
we
到这部电
shot
影
the
放的时候，我
film,
的孩
I
子已经5岁了。
had become a father. And now my child is almost 5 years old, and it is only now that we can show the film. And during these past 5 years, the situation in China has changed
我们在当时
tremendously
的时候，
because a lot of people discuss the film before its release
所以
on
因
the
为是
internet.
因为它事件化了，所以
And
当
this
时就比较
blog
紧张，还是
expressed a
希望
very strong
先停下来
opinion
等
on
一
the
等。
film, so it was getting a
一
bit
直其实
tiresome
没
and
有
difficult,
没
so
有
we
明
waited
确的
for a
说这
little
部片
time.
子
We
不可以
decided to
上
have a
映，
break.
所以都只是在等。
It was not that someone told us very directly you're not allowed to show the film, but we simply decided to wait and see, and we said we don't need to
当
force
时中影集团
things
在
now.
拍摄
And
建
well,
党大业和建国大业，
started yet
暴力
again.
方面的删减吧，然后一些调整。
Above all, it was about
但是
violence
在
in the
去年通
film,
过
the
审核
violence that is shown. And last year, we finally managed to get through censorship.
最终可以拿出来上映。
It is true
而
that
且
it took
最
us
终
quite
来
some
到了
time
柏
to
林
adapt
和
the
大家
film
见
over
面，
and
我
over
们还是非
again,
常
but
非
now
常
we've been
高
able
兴。
to screen the film here in Berlin, and we're particularly pleased that we have been able to show the film here in Berlin.
also like to.
宁浩导演的确是新的，就是中国
Because
新
Ning
的
Hao, our
电影
director,
怎么讲呢？就是新电影一代的
is
领军
I
人
don't know how
物，
to
就是他的
express
电影有
myself,
自己
but
特别
he
明显
is
的风格，所以
a
说我挺
leader amongst young
不能说意外，但是
directors.
非常确实很惊喜。柏林电
I
影节选
wouldn't
择了
say
这
that
部电
he's
影，说
an
明电影节对
exception, but it is
电影本身
has
的
been
类
really a
型
great
和电影本身的
surprise
这
to be
种
here at the Berlin Film
方式
Festival
也
with
有
this
一个不一
film,
样的看
with
法。
this genre,
那
with
这
this
个电影
method,
它
and with this different
我们在拍的
perspective.
那个时候好像刚是
是因为在我小时候很喜欢看西部片。 对，然后那个
When I was a
中国
little
其
boy,
实
I
没
enjoyed
有太
watching
多的西
Western.
部电影，但是其实我们有新疆
And in China, there are not that many
那个地方就是
Westerns.
环境特别好，
But in
特
Xinjiang,
别
in this
像
region
有
of
西部的质
Xinjiang,
感。
the
所以其实我就想
environment,
拍一
the
部
landscape
说
is
在视
very
觉上是不是可以
appropriate
很
for
像
Western.
西
The
部片的
feelings are
其实
kind
最
of
早是有这么一
Western-like.
个
And I
想法
thought,
但是因
well,
为其实也一
maybe
直
I could
怀
do
疑
a
就是
similar
我
film,
们
a
并没
film
有
that is
西部
similar
片
to
发
a
那种
Western.
历
Couldn't I
史。
shoot it there in this region?
那我就在想到底这个西部片
We
可
do
以
not have
装
a
一个什么样的故事在
Western
里边。
story or history in
所以
China, and I was wondering
我
how
后
I
来
could
想，其实
combine
还
a
是要
Western
拍
with
中
such
国
a
的事情
story.
和中国
And
的
then I
人吧
thought,
所
well,
以我就把这个社
I
会
need
剧
to
的
do
这
something
种
about
社
China,
会话
about
题
Chinese
变
people
成
and
一个西
their
部片装
problems.
在
I want to
装在
them
这个
to
电
be
影里，
included
因
in the
为
film,
中
so
国
it
现
became
在
kind
对
of a
于
Western,
城市当
but
中
also a
这个
Chinese
这个
story.
像一个拟真言，它是象征着一个没有人
It's
性的，就
actually
是说没有城市
like
性、没有社会性的一个
a
地方一个部分，
parabola.
在没有约束的情况下，
It's about
人性会有什么？
mankind
其实最
outside
初在
of,
构
or
思
human
这个
beings
电影的
outside
时
of
候，是
society.
源于
It's a
我的
special
之
situation, and
前
it's
拍
about
过的一套
how
电影叫《
the
绿草
people
地》，
behave.
那个电影
I
叫
did another
蒙古利亚
film
乒
which is
乓，
called
曾经来
Mongolian Ping
过
Pong.
柏林电影节的。
And I
那
was
部
also
电影是我
represented
当
at
时
the Berlin
在
Film
中
Festival
蒙
with
边境
this
拍摄的时
former
候呢，
film.
我在中国和蒙古的边境上那个草原上面住了几个月，当时是完全
And
没
I
有人
shot
的一个
this
环境。
film
然
at
后
the
我
border
会发
between
现我
China
自
and
己那
Mongolia,
个
and this
就
was
是动物的
another
能力
no
越来越
man's
强，
land
就
as
是越
well.
来
There was
越
nobody.
会
I
知
had
道
the
那个
impression that
风
the
向
animals
哪
were
个
much
方向
stronger in
吹
this
着，然后
region. The
骑
animals
马
knew
会
what
骑得特别
direction
好，
to take. They
然
knew
后
where
手
the wind
机
was
什么都没
blowing
有用处，
from.
然后慢慢我跟我
And
摄
you
影
had
师
to
对
take
接，当时两个人
courses,
记
for
我们当时
example,
考的是生存
and you
能
had
力，
no
我觉得
mobile phones.
而
You
且我
went
觉得
back
生存
into a
能力就是
different
你
type
在
of
社会
life. It
当
was
中的那
about
些
mere
通通没
survival,
有
about
用，
the
但是实际上你
capacities
会
to survive.
很需要你的动
So
机。
this might be
所以
something that doesn't help you in society, but in
最初觉得那个环境
circumstances,
是
you
这个
need
电影
this
的一个出发
capacity.
点。
And
我
at
觉
the
得
beginning, I
当把
thought, well,
人
this
置于那样的环
environment is
境
kind
的
of
时
the
候，
starting
你才能
point
够
for
很清
this
楚地
film.
看到自己身上本来有的那些
Because
动物
in
性。
such an environment, you realize the animal instincts and forces inside yourself. And this was kind of our starting point, based on which we developed the script and the story.
谢谢。但是我们
Thank you very
这个
much
片
for
子
the
在国
question.
内大家看起来的时候，其实还是把
I
它
would
当做
say
一个
when we will show this film in China, then this is a film with black humor. This is the way it will be received by a Chinese audience. We can't really say it is a comedy, though. The two actors are very popular comedians in China, and a lot of people who will watch the film will expect a very funny comedy because these two actors are part of the film, but then they will make a different experience. Because it is not only a funny film, but something different. Yes, Yunan put it quite rightly. We've known one another for quite a long time, the director and me, and I grew up under his auspices. I did a lot of films. And now I'm a murderer in this film. He was a little bit afraid that I might be too nice in the film. I have to do it in such a way that people in the audience will be scared of me, will be afraid. And he said, well, I will dig you into a hole in the sand so that you get an experience about it, get a feeling of it. And he made me undergo a lot of tests. And he had the pigs, these heavy carcasses of pigs. And the pigs in the film, he gave me a knife. And he said, now you need to do it. Take the knife, do something with it. And when I wanted to start doing something, the butcher told me, no, this pig is far too big. You won't manage to kill it off. And I was really relieved that I didn't have to do it. And I told the director, look, I don't know how you kill someone, but I learned how you get killed. Because when I was looking at the pig in the butchers, I realized. And then I saw Xinjiang on the second day, how he did it, and he did it in a great way. It was a great job. So this was a bit tricky. You need to know that Xinjiang used to have another role. It was the role of Chubate, and that is a pig.